For sure. I'm going to give it another minute, man, and we'll get started. Okay, I'll introduce you and we'll roll. Anthony, you ready, bro? You ready, brother?
I'm good. Yes, sir.
Okay, guys, appreciate you all joining us tonight. We've got a good turnout. Anthony Jones is our speaker. He's the running back coach at the University of Memphis. I got the pleasure to work with Anthony in 2015 at the Liberty Bowl, I guess the All-Star game that we did together. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, graduated from Westwood, played at UTC, coached at Westwood. When I met Anthony, he was at Cordova, did a great job at Cordova, and one of the lucky guys that's been able to transition smoothly from high school to college. And I hear nothing but great things. He's got to coach with some great people at Memphis. He does a good job of recruiting our area and staying connected with the high school coaches. And he's also, I'm sure he would tell you, he's coached some awesome running backs. So he's had some great experiences so far at Memphis, and I know I'm excited to listen to him tonight. So, Coach Jones, take it away.
Coach, thank you guys so much. Can y'all see my screen? I don't know if it.
Yes, sir.
Right. Awesome. Coach, thank you so much for having me on. I promise I'll try not to be too boring or take up too much of you guys' time. I think it's 30 minutes. Is that correct? I just wanted to first off say thank you guys for being on. Being a high school coach is near and dear to my heart. I was 10 years as a high school football coach. As Coach McDaniel said, a little bit about my background. I spent 5 years at my alma mater, Westwood High School. 2 of those 5 years, I was the head football coach when I was able to win the district championship in my last 2 seasons. And then from there in 2013, I was fortunate enough and blessed enough to move on to Cordova High School, where I spent 5 football seasons, which is where I met Coach McDaniel. And I got a chance to coach in the All-Star game and got a chance to be the head coach in the All-Star game, which is one of the pictures that you guys see here now. I'm a father of 2 girls that's in the other room right now. So if they come in barging, that's who they are. And my lovely wife here, Christina, we've been married for 12, 13, 14 years, one of them. It's one of those numbers, right? So if you know my wife, please don't tell her I don't know the exact years. But my family to me is very important. It's one of the reasons why I decided to get into coaching, is to make a positive impact for young men within our community and within our society. So that's kind of a little background about me. Obviously, in December of 2017, I was able to get hired on here at home with the University of Memphis by Coach Mike Norvell, who is now the head football coach at Florida State University. And he took a chance on me. He did. He took a chance on me, and he gave me an opportunity that so many guys like yourself really, truly deserve. And like Coach McDaniel said, I was one of the lucky ones to be fortunate enough and to get this opportunity. Not only did I not have to move, not only did I realize a dream come true of coaching in my hometown of Memphis, but I stepped into a room with some really talented running backs. When you look at this slide here, it kind of shows you what we've been doing since the 2018 football season, where you have guys like Darrell Henderson and Patrick Taylor, and most recently Kenneth Gainwell and Antonio Gibson, who's a starting running back now for the Washington football team. But we have also done it with some local guys as well. A lot of you guys were on this Zoom call on Tuesday night with our head football coach, Coach Silverfield, and he showed how important the state of Tennessee is to the success of our football program. And I just want to go back and echo that fact. And yes, we have had some talented running backs, but we've also had some talented running backs from the great state of Tennessee. If you look at the bottom left, who's holding the number 27 jersey, that's actually Tony Pollard, who's from right here in Memphis. And we have guys on the roster now with Kylan Watkins from Whitehaven High School and Marquavius Weaver from Bartlett High School and Tim Taylor from East High School. So we've have a lot of not only Memphis connections, but the entire state of Tennessee has been very outstanding to our football program. There's some running backs in this upcoming class that I don't know if I can just speak on their names in specific, but that Middle Tennessee area is absolutely loaded with talented running backs this year. So we're very excited about what we have done in our room. I think in the last 3 year span, we've rushed for more yards in Memphis history than any other 3 year span with this university. And there's a reason for that. Number one, it's a reason because these are great young men. And Coach Silverfield Tuesday night talked about his core values of being all in. We as a running back group, we have our own set of values that we practice and try to preach every single day. And that's called the 4 F's. And when I talk about this in presentations, people think that we're talking about academic grades. And I pray to God that they're not getting this message as 4 F's. But the 4 F's that we like to talk about is faith, it's family, it's focus, and it's finish. And we believe those are 4 great pillars of our running back room that really upholds the standard of what the previous guys have left behind. And if I can incorporate that into these guys' daily lives, then I think I've done my job as a football coach, both on and off the field. And speaking of on and off the field, we do have some running back goals that I like to share with you guys. I'm not going to go in full detail about it, but I'm going to talk about the obvious, which is why we're here today. I want to talk about the on the field play, right? And on the field, we want to make sure that we do something called on the ball. That's very important to us. We all know we've all coached high school football before, and we've done a great job with it. And we heard the old adage of whoever the team that does not turn the ball over will probably win the football game. And we take great pride in that in the running back room. And we want to make sure we have unselfish play. Much like every position on the football team, there's only one ball to go around. What Coach Silverfield said Tuesday night, I have 9 running backs in my room right now, and I'm bringing in 3 more this summer. So that's 12 guys, but it's only one ball. So those guys really have to be bought in to not being a selfish group. One of the great things about the older guys with Darrell Henderson and Tony Pollard and Antonio Gibson, those guys really play for each other. And you look at how we played this season as well. We were a young group, but they were a very unselfish group. And that's something that weighs heavily on me as a football coach. That's how I go about trying to find the next guys to replace the current guys we have now. When you talk about on the field, I'm a high school coach at heart. So I truly believe academics matters. And I want to make sure that we graduate 100% of our players. We want to make sure that we have no academic casualties or whatnot. And we do have a group GPA goal of a 3.0. Some guys, honestly, it's just like high school. Some guys carry that goal higher, more weight than other guys will. For example, I know Coach Salzer, I think I've seen him on this call. Kylan Watkins is carrying our room right now. I think Kylan is at a 4.0. He's a tremendous student athlete. He really takes the student part well. It's another young man that I'm not going to say his name is kind of bordering that 2.2 range, so it kind of balances itself out. But these guys really hold each other accountable both on and off the field, which is something that I believe that you guys should have in your room as well. I know I was supposed to talk about inside zone and RPOs, and I promise you I'm going to get to it. But a lot of times when I was a high school coach, I used to go to these clinics and I used to get the grand scheme of things, but I did not ever get the kind of meat of it. And I'm going to just kind of buzz through some drills, and I'm going to still stay within my 30-minute time limit, because I don't want to go. I know we have another speaker later on, but just some kind of drills that I think helps the play of running backs. Because before we can talk about scheme, I've always believed in talking about the fundamental aspects of the game as well. So a couple of drills that we like to do. First and foremost, as a running back, you always start with ball security. And if you look at this picture of the running back here, you notice he has 2 hands in a cross position. And there's a reason for that. So with our backs, we like to teach finish at the cross. All right. And I kind of go in more detail about that. Like I told you, ball security is our number one goal of our group. So in every drill that we do, you will see some type of ball security emphasis located in place on each individual drill. One of the things I like to do is use ball bands, and I'm gonna kind of buzz through it. I like to use different platforms and different angles. So this is just a generic 4-cone ball band drill. You have 2 balls, you have 2 bands, you have a coach, you have a GA pulling on it. And it kind of works in a unique way. Can you guys still see my screen?
Yeah, Coach.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Sir.
Okay. Yeah. I think I kind of froze up a little bit, but this one is you basically just have 2 balls, right? And we always preach wrist above elbow, right? And I know my screen is kind of locked up. I apologize for that right now. I don't know where our IT guy is. But we want to make sure that we're rubbing the breastplate as much as we possibly can. We want to make sure that we keep our elbows locked, we keep our screen locked. We want to make sure that we don't have any gray area in the ball. Now, I like to make drills as uncomfortable as I possibly can, if that makes sense. So I know in the game, we'll never, ever carry 2 balls at one time. We won't do it. You won't see it in any football game. But what it forces the guys to do, it forces these guys to really log on and just make sure that they're having that ball security with their non-dominant hand, if that makes sense. And when it comes to that, we want to make sure that we're doing everything that we possibly can to prevent any ball security coming loose or whatnot. Sorry, guys, my screen just shut down. Can you guys still see me?
Yeah, I should.
You guys
See you, Coach.
Okay. I'm trying to get it back pulled up. I have no idea what's going on. So we got crazy story. We got hacked earlier this week, so our system has been running slow. So I'm trying to get it back on for you guys here as fast as I possibly can. And there we go. All right, while it's pulling up now, I'm also kind of talk about just other drills. So not only do we do ball security drills, we also do obviously the generic bag drills and all of that good stuff as well. And what I really believe that all your drills should serve a purpose to it. A lot of coaches ask, Coach, what drills do you use? A lot of we have what we call YouTube coaches or whatnot. They go back and they use certain drills that they see on YouTube and stuff. Well, one of the things that I like to do is I like to use drills that we're going to play in the game. For example, if we're running a snag concept or if we're running a rip or ledge protection, which is sprint out, right? I will make sure that I'm using those type of drills that I think is going to be indicated for in-game success. And you also have to know and play to your strength of the guys that you're dealing with. When it comes to that, we understand, for example, Calvin Watkins for us at from Whitehaven, he's a smaller back, right? So we want to make sure that we're doing things that's comfortable for him to do when it comes to things like pass protection, when it comes to running routes out the backfield. We also have bigger backs. So a couple of years ago, we had a guy named Patrick Taylor, who is with the Green Bay Packers now. He was a bigger back. See, he's a kid that was not real elusive in space, but he made things happen in between the tackles. So a lot of time when we are game planning, it's very creative for me as a position coach to say, all right, listen, we got Calvin Watkins, he can do this. We have Marquavius Weaver, he can do this. And we have to make sure that we're playing to those guys' strengths. That makes sense. All right, I think I'm back up and running, Coach. So I'm gonna start back sharing my screen again. See if I can see it. All right. Here we go. Am I back on now?
Yes, sir.
Sorry. All right. Awesome.
Yes.
Here we go. Want to go the simple cone drill as well, right? So we just have a coach standing there. He's making sure his eyes up. And when it comes to ball security, you see Patrick here. This is the kid from Green Bay. He has that ball high and tight across his chest, right? And I just kind of want to implement in-game game tape as well. So how does drills translate to the actual game? Well, here's a simple inside zone. And you can really see it from this angle of the cone work drill coming to effect, right? You kind of see it here with the quick feet and the sudden change and sinking the hips. And then we want to make sure that we get vertical as fast as we possibly can. Obviously, the next big thing, got the ball security, is pass protection for us. We take great pride in it. We have a couple of drills that we do. I like to mix the drills up each and every day so the kids won't get into the same routine of things to make it boring for them. So this is what we call 3-level. The reason why we call this 3-level is because as a running back, you're going to block all different types and sizes, right? You may block a defensive end. You may most commonly block a linebacker. In some cases, right, you might block a blitz and safety or a rush corner, right? So you kind of get different angles and body types of what you're blocking, which is why we have the 3 levels. So this is an example of our game versus Central Florida. Now, Quay Weaver is one of our better pass protectors, right? But if you watch it, not all of these guys are perfect. We want to emphasize shooting the hands, making sure that we're in the breastplate of the defender and not to get our head buried, right? And you kind of see Quay burying his head there for a while, but he still does a solid job in keeping the quarterback clean. Not only do that, we have what we call seek and find, right? This is not what's going to happen in the game. I get that. No running back should be spinning around in the game in any given time. But what it does, it heightens his awareness to find at the last second a blitzing backer that may come. Very similar drill here with Darryl, right? We can be engaged, and then we can come back, right? And we can find and search and find another guy to pick up as well. So here it is later on in the Central Florida game this past year. Rodriguez Clark, a sophomore from Starkville, kind of had a very similar situation where our right tackle picked up our guy, right? So Drake had to quickly scan and get his head back to find his guy, find the next guy. And we call that the pizza theory, where the offensive linemen take our guy or we take his guy accidentally, and we have to hurry up and redirect and find the next possible rush defender. Then we do a lot of sprint out stuff, a lot of two-back. We're a heavy two-back run team, but we do some sprint out things as well. And this is just a single man sled block, right? We want to make sure we're attacking the outside shoulder of the widest defender, right? And we want to make sure that we get this guy hooked. So this is number 19, Kenneth Gainwell, who was entered the draft this season. And this is an example of us playing against Louisiana Monroe of how that drill comes into play. So he has the widest defenders, making sure we attack it, making sure we want to keep our heels in the ground as much as we possibly can with this particular protection technique. Great job. Great kid from Yazoo, Mississippi. The young man that's catching the ball now is Antonio Gibson, who kind of split time between wide receiver and the running back. But I want to show you guys that one because of sprint out. If that's a part of your game, that's one of the greatest drills that I got from a fellow colleague coach of mine. All right, then we have something for the bigger back. So this is once again Patrick Taylor. Patrick is 6'3", 225 pounds. So it's really hard for him to get underneath this tarp, but leverage is advantage. And we've heard that as a bunch. I know you got a special team guy coming on here after me, and he's probably going to use that same terminology, right? Well, big guys have to get down as well. And you can see it in the course of a game. Not only was Patrick a bigger back, but he was stronger. But what about the smaller backs like a Darrell Henderson who can come in and we can run inserted inside zone, where in reality, we're just taking the place of the tight end. Well, running backs don't really sign scholarships to come in and block 250-pound linebackers, but it's a part of the game that we have to do, right? And this is a great job by number 8, the running back on your left, coming in, running this tight track, right, and making sure that we're fitting and running our feet on contact as well. Speaking of tracks is very huge to the success of our run game. If I can leave you with anything, the way we do inside zone at the University of Memphis is probably different than a lot of teams. A lot of teams read play side defensive tackle, the closest man defensive tackle. We're actually a little bit different. We read the backside hip of the center. That's our pressing point. That's our aiming point. And we looked at the different down linemen, right? Whether it's a 3-down line or a 4-down line. If it's a 4-down line, we have certain tracks that we like to take, right? And our tracks versus a 4-down line is backside A to backside B, falling into front side A. So 4-down line, once again, is backside A to backside B, falling into front side A. If we place a odd front team, right, a 3-down line front team, our eyes are looking, still pressing the backside hip of the center, but we want to now press backside A to backside C, falling in the front side A. So here's an example of one easy, simple track drill that we use. We use the red shoe to make sure he has good pad leverage. All right, and you'll see me standing in the middle directing him for the sudden change jump cut. All right, so this is Tony Pollard, and here's how it's translated in the game a couple of years ago against Wake Forest in the bowl game. All right, so it's a simple inside zone, which we'll kind of get more in depth here later on in a few minutes. And Tony just simply runs this track. All right, and if I slow it down from the back view, right, everybody can agree that this is a 4 down front, pressing the backside hip or the center as much as we possibly can. And we like to call it running through the smoke. All right, a lot of backs would love to bounce this. The purpose of that drill is to make sure he stays as tight as he possibly can and get vertical as fast as he can. All right, so this is a great example by Tony. Obviously, Tony's a great athlete. He was there at Melrose. He's doing well with the Cowboys right now. He's doing a great job. So now this is a sudden change, but now where the defensive lineman move. Let's say you have a one tick or a 2-eye, and he suddenly moves. How tight can we still stay with him? We're still taking our same aiming point of the backside hip of the center. So here it is again against South Alabama, where Darrell does a great job of just trusting his track of pressing the backside hip of the center. And the tighter we are, we feel as backs that it can really help our offensive line get and gather and sustain their blocks better. All right, so here it is. Now at Memphis, we like to teach guys you have to make one guy miss, and Darrell does a great job of that. And I want you guys to notice something. Even on the collegiate level, sometimes running backs have the bad habit of getting to the sideline too soon, right? Even though this is a great run by Darrell, he's a great back. He's doing well with the Los Angeles team, but even he has to do better with not going to the sideline so much because he's a fast guy by nature, and he just trusts his speed. This next drill is part of a track drill, but we call it cutting the inside shoulder of this defender that's right here. We want to cut on him as tight as we possibly can. The less space we give him, the more chances he have to react to making a tackle on us. All right, so if you watch this clip of I think this is Colin, yes, this is Colin Watkins here against South Alabama. Really good run, really good track, right? But he ended up getting called because I want you guys to notice how far he made his initial cut from the free safety here in the middle of the field. All right, so all of these things that we're going over now is just basic fundamental stuff that I think can help develop running back play. That was inside zone. We do outside zone tracks, which is very similar to the inside zone tracks. The only difference with this one, all right, we like to run inside zone out the pistol. And I can talk about the pistol keys to victory when it comes to that as well. And we like to read the play side tackle butt. All right, so if his butt goes out, we go out. If his butt goes in, we go in, right? You guys probably teach it the exact same way. One of the things I think is a critical coaching point when it comes to running game out of the pistol that not a lot of teams talk about, we use the term key the hip. And we want to key the hip of the quarterback, which means we don't move as running backs until the quarterback hips move. And the reason why is because we understand sometimes centers have bad snaps. Well, we don't want to leave too fast where it distorts the play. We want the quarterback to be a baseball player and allow him to handle it, and he can maybe still get the ball back to us. But if we move and the quarterback move, the play is dead. It's different than being in the sidecar and the hip where we both can see what's going on. All right, so this is a great job by number 19 here of just riding the wave. All right, Scotty Deal was a local guy for us as well. That was at right tackle. And Kenny is an outstanding football player who's projected to go second and third round in this draft. All right, once again, another bag drill that kind of shows just the footwork side of things and just cutting the inside shoulder. You can kind of see it here with this particular play against South Alabama again. It's a lot of Darrell Henderson cut-ups, but just want to show you how we read inside zone with the 4 down, 3 down, how we read outside zone by reading the tackle. We want to give you our keys to victory when it comes to the key in the hip while we're in the pistol. All right, and then we all have our bag drills that we absolutely love, right? So this one is a simple, what I call a bag drill, just getting your feet over and making that second or third level guy miss in space. All right, so here it is with Kenneth Gainwell. This was his true freshman season. And if you notice, we like to run off the corners, all right? Because even at the collegiate level, we feel that safeties are better tacklers than corners are. So we teach our guys, listen, if we want to make anybody miss, let's make the corner miss. So Kenny does a great job of translating the bag drill to the actual field and making this guy miss. We call it taking away the inside shoulder, all right, and giving him a dead leg to make tackle. All right, so Kenny was the one, he absolutely loved that drill. He one cut and get vertical, and that's been really a good successful drill for us. So we incorporated two bag drills because you may have to make two guys miss at one time, right? Or you make the second level guy miss and the safety come. Not a real clean job by Patrick here. He actually steps over a bag, but you watch us against UConn, Daryl kind of takes this and translates it to the actual game as well. All right, so one guy missed and cut the inside shoulder to the safety, gets vertical, little wasted time, and then obviously he uses God-given speed to get to the end zone. Then we obviously talk about pass catching as well, right? A lot of running backs are just natural pass catchers. One of the unique things that I like to do, and I got this from high school back in Westwood, Coach Salisbury and Coach McNair, when I couldn't afford a bunch of footballs. So we had to use tennis balls. And what tennis ball does is allows the guys to focus really on the ball itself, right? Because running backs don't spend hours and hours working on their hands. So we like to use tennis balls. We like to emphasize the finish, which is also one of our core values of the running back room. All right, so here's an example of Darrell Henderson kind of focusing on the ball. Darrell worked really hard in his offseason. He always trains using tennis balls, right? And he also uses the bag drills that he got here as well, with picking his feet up in traffic and through a cloudy situation and getting vertical, getting to the end zone. And we want pass catching to be natural for guys when it comes to it. All right, so here's a simple screenplay again. Making sure that he's getting vertical, making the one guy miss. So if you notice, we like to incorporate every drill that we do always has a relatability to the other drill, whether it's ball security, whether it's focus, whether it's details, whether it's bag drills, whether it's whatever the situation is, we want to make sure that all of our drills correlate with the success of a football play. And not only do we do that, right, we can incorporate cone drills as well to it. So Kylan Watkins, you guys remember, some of you guys played against him. Obviously, Coach Salisbury and Gene Robinson coached him, right? Probably wasn't the most natural pass catcher, right? But he's worked really hard at it, has done an outstanding job of just focusing on the things that he needs to work on. And here it is at a crucial point of the game against Central Florida. We're actually down in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go. And you never know when these drills are going to come into play. But you take that simple box tennis ball drill, and here he is right here in the slide working the route, right? Making the guy miss, getting in for us, giving us the game-winning touchdown is an outstanding play. And he even told me after the game, he said, Coach, I don't know if I would have made that catch 2 years ago because I really didn't take route running seriously, right? And so I think the success of our offensive football team has been predicated on guys like Kylan taking seriously what he's been doing. All right. For the next 5 minutes, I promise, Coach, I'm going to be on time. For the next 5 minutes, I know I'm talking fast. I want to talk about the 3 types of RPO that we use here in Memphis. Obviously, it's real simple. It's second level and third level RPOs.
Anthony, hey, Anthony, you got time, man. I know you do you, but you got time. You're okay.
Okay, perfect.
All right.
So first level RPOs, we want to identify the defensive end. And I put defensive end and not so much defensive line as a whole, because we really do not read a 3 technique or a 2-eye or whatever. I know back in the day when Chip Kelly had it, they made a ton of living doing that stuff. We really haven't had an athletic quarterback that can do that just yet. Brady White is obviously an all-time career winner in passes and yards and all that good stuff, but he wasn't the runner, right? And I know most high school guys have runners. So first level RPOs has been great for me, especially when I was in high school. And I know it's probably really good for you guys as well. So I'm going to briefly talk about that. Second level talks about the adjuster, which is just at the second level, right? That's that D-gap defender. I know some of you guys probably study Tony Franklin or Gus Malzahn or Chad Morris. Very similar to what they do offensively as well when they talk about the adjuster. And in layman's terms, that's just whoever that D-gap defender is, that's who we identify as the adjuster. And obviously one thing that we do that's unique is that we read third level safeties as well. Third level, we read the DB, we read the safeties or whatnot. So I want to just kind of briefly explain about all of those three type of levels and how I think they can be implemented not only on the collegiate level, but the high school level as well. All right, so let's talk about first level RPOs. First level RPOs, we want to read the defensive line, most commonly known as the defensive end. All right. Now, while we are doing that, I want you guys to remember our still base inside zone rules with 3 down line, right? Backside A to backside C, falling in the front side A as our last resort. All right, so this is about 2 years ago when we played on the road at UConn. Obviously, the quarterback is reading this cat right here because he's to us as a first level guy. One thing that I forgot to mention is that on most of our base first level RPOs, we have what we call a bubble or a spot out on the perimeter, which means this guy either runs a bubble or we can game plan it to where he blocks the corner and we run what we call a spot route with this guy. Very simple. Obviously, we can't take any down the field shots with first level RPOs because we have a defensive end staring our quarterback down in the face. If this quarterback felt like this defensive end was crashing, right, he has the ability, obviously, to pull the ball and get around. And now it becomes a triple option play for us. So the first rule for the quarterback is if he can take 5 yards, easily take 5. If this apex guy was showing blitz pressure and we felt like he was coming, he can take the spot right now and don't have to worry about the running back mesh, charge, anything like that. If not, we tell the guys to just read it out, right? So just read it out. Just let your feet make you right. So the running back has his rules. The quarterback has his rules. They have spot and bubble on the perimeter. It's a triple option play. Very, very hard to defend once you execute it right. Let's talk about the running back play in more detail. If the running back does not get the ball, we use a term that's called ball to backer. And what that means is if the running back don't get the ball, he's going to veer back and block the nearest defender that he can run into. We're hoping to beat this guy with the action, and then we're going to get lined up and going to block number 41. And you should see a clip of that here in a second. But this was a traditional handoff, which Doyle endorses his trusted his track, using the bag drills, made one guy miss. Like for him to put the ball in his offhand, his outside hand, but needless to say, you can't argue with a touchdown run. Here's an example of another triple option here. This time, this is a great example of the running back going ball to backer. So the running back did not get the ball. Now he becomes a lead blocker for the quarterback. If you have an athletic quarterback, I believe you'll gain a ton of yards running this simple first level RPO scheme. All right. And if you notice, we still have the spot and bubble. So if we wanted to, we can still pick it up and throw it out there if we want to. But if not, let your running back go ahead and lead this guy around as well. Still first level reads, right? 4 down, 3 down line rules still play a part in what the quarterback wants to do. So here's an example of now we can make sure that we are getting that and the bubble stays alive. It's a great job on the perimeter by our wide receivers blocking. And I want you to notice how, I don't know if you guys can really see a clear picture of it, but notice how this slot receiver finished his run. As soon as he gets tackled, he crosses both arms and what we call finish at the cross. So not only is ball security big for us as a running back room, but it's very important to all of our skill positions, right? Because the quickest way to lose a football game is to turn the ball over. If you got the bubble right, once again, you can take it. Here's a good idea for Tony Pollard, right? Making one guy miss, 2 guys miss, and just being strong at the point of attack. And it's very simple, right? When I was at Westwood and my first couple of years at Cordova, I had nearly the athletes that Whitehaven had or Christian Brothers had or Ainsworth or all these guys. I had quarterbacks with very, very limited arm strength. So one of our ways to get the ball on the perimeter, just throw a simple bubble out there to them, right? And put out fast guys in space and hope like heck that our receivers can block like this cat is right here. So very easy, very inexpensive. The same run game rules. Then obviously if you hand the ball off, this is kind of the result of. So this is Tim Taylor, is another local Tennessee guy, Memphis guy. His first career touchdown. And some of these guys just get excited, but if he follows his tracks, right, it's a great play for him. Still pressing backside, hip on the center, getting vertical, getting north as fast as he possibly can. And he's doing a great job. All right, now moving on to second level RPOs. All right, is what we read. Like I said, once again, we read that D gap defender. So this adjuster. So in this case, it'll be this cat right here. All right, the D gap defender. So he's the one that's outside the box. Now, if you notice, this safety is coming down extremely, extremely fast. Right, and we knew that game planning, but nothing changes at all for us. Right, if in doubt, the quarterback reads it out. Or you can say, if in doubt, hand it out. Right, whichever way you want to identify it is totally fine with us. But if the quarterback is completely unsure about what to do, it's never a bad thing to hand the ball off to the back, especially Darrell Henderson in this situation. So I want to go back and remember that the deal I talked about when they talked about being in a pistol, right, about keying the hip of the quarterback, having a little bit of patience, and he's still taking his normal track. 4 down line, backside A. If backside A is there, take it. Now here it is, a free safety coming into the picture, making the guy miss in tight space and getting vertical. Here it is again, all right? It's a little bit of an indie, what we call indie back variation, where the tight end is blocking back. Some of you guys may call it scissors, right? But here's our D gap defender. Here's our adjuster. He's way out. I don't know if you guys can see this safety on your screen, but it's 3/2, right? So we know we got numbers in the run game. It's a great job by Patrick getting vertical, right? Pressing the back. I like to see him press the backside hip of the center more, being on this angle, so now he doesn't have to waste a lot of wasted time or extra steps getting back to where he should be anyway. All right, like to see him make him miss, but yet and still, that's still a good 12, 13-yard game. So here it is now, throw action, right? Here's our D-gap defender. The quarterback thinks that he's playing a run, which he is, and now Tony here's backside on the slant. The good thing about second-level RPOs is you can put any type of pass game scheme you want. Right, you can put slants behind it. You can put a go out concept behind it. You can put a curl flat concept behind it. Whatever you think can be a mismatch for the secondary that you're playing, you can always attach that concept to it. Good job of keying the hip. Same deal if in the pistol. If Darrell doesn't get the ball, the running back doesn't get the ball, his job is to go ball to backer. Because worst case scenario, Darrell doesn't get the ball, quarterback get ready to pull, receiver falls down, the quarterback can simply follow the running back and still have positive yards. That's why ball to backer to us is such an important deal. We can also use outside zone with it as well. All right, we can use a little bit of outside zone. We talked about the outside zone tracks earlier in this presentation. Here's Kylan Watkins going 3 flat vertical. He's reading the play side tackle's butt. Right here he is getting vertical. Like to see him make him miss the Coach Salisbury. For whatever reason, those runs Kylan is not scoring on now in college. He did a really good job of scoring on me when I was at Cordova High School. I can promise you that. A great back. You see he's mad at himself now. Then obviously the last thing I want to talk about is third-level RPOs where we're reading the safeties in this case. So this is a inside zone scheme that we really like, right? We have what we call a pre-snap side on this side, and our post-snap side is on this side. So to our pre-snap side, this side, we have still bubble rules, right? If we like the bubble, we can take the bubble. But right now, Brady doesn't like the bubble because technically it's 3/2. So this side for him is dead. Now Brady wants to read the play side guy, which is this safety right here. And it's just simple as this. If the safety stays back, we'll hand the ball off on inside zone. If the safety comes down for whatever reason, we can throw what we call a bang 8 post at 10 yards over his head. All right, so this is a very good concept for us. We will always carry this concept into every single football game because we feel like it's a mismatch with the safeties in the secondary. And sometimes those boundary safeties especially want to be such run fit guys so fast to where they forget about their responsibilities. Here it is again, third level this time. And you can dictate safeties as well. So let's say we understand the boundary safety is always the one that's coming down making the play. So we've been running the ball, and we're trying to figure out who is making the play. And the coach and the box say, Coach, it is the boundary safety making the play. Cool, let's RPO him, let's read him, and let's make him make a mistake. All right, so we felt like that the quarterback felt that the boundary safety stayed flat-footed, and he handed the ball off to Darryl. Darryl makes one guy miss, two guys miss, and he takes it to the house. We come right back the next series later on in the game, and we have the same deal. That time, the safety stays back. Here it is, an example in our bowl game, right? We're reading the boundary safety again. This is our third level RPO guy. We don't like our pre-snap side on this side because technically it's 3/2. We don't like that side. We like our post-snap side, which is here. He felt like the safety came down just enough to throw the Bengay post over his head. All right, so that's it. But I want to leave you guys with this, Coach, and I hope I didn't take up too much time. But I know a lot of guys on this call have aspirations of coaching college ball. These top two pictures, this picture here is with my oldest daughter, Kenzie Jones, and the picture on the top right is me. This was a spring practice back in 2014 when Coach Justin Fuente was actually the head football coach. And my wife left the house, and I told her I was going to keep my daughter inside because I believe it was cold that day. But I ended up sneaking off and going to watch a spring practice. And the coaching staff at the time let me keep my daughter inside so I wouldn't hear my wife mouth. But I took this picture and had no idea. I just wanted to take a picture, say I was there. You see I got my Cordova stuff on. Had no idea that I would eventually be the running back coach at the University of Memphis one day. And these bottom two pictures is a picture that I took on the field the day before my first ever college game at the Liberty Bowl. And that section is the section where high school coaches sit at for home games. All right, so I've sat there as a high school coach with my name on the ticket list many, many, many times, not ever thinking that one day I would be on the opposite sideline coaching the game. And then my mom, she was sick at the time of my first game, but she was watching it from home. And she said, I see you on TV. And she took a picture and she saved it and she gave it to me. So to this day, I have that picture on my desk to remind me that dreams do come true. So a lot of you guys on this call are a heck of a lot smarter than I am. You guys have more wins than I have. I have not come close to winning the state championship like some of you guys have. I was just lucky. I was blessed. I was fortunate. And I believe, and I'm crazy enough to believe that the same thing will actually happen for you guys as well. So just keep dreaming, keep believing. I hope you guys got something out of this presentation. I apologize for the IT problems early on. But I can leave my contact information, Coach, if anybody wants it. My cell phone number is area code 901-494-5074. For the guys that's on the call that have my number, you can put it in the chat. I don't want to do it because I'm scared I'm going to probably log myself off of this deal. But 901-494-5074, Coach. And if you guys got any questions or want to talk ball or whatever the situation may be, I'm always open. I'm always free. I'm always looking to help fellow high school guys like myself.
Thank you so much, Coach. We appreciate you, brother.
Thank you. Sit down.